I first met Martyn Burke several years ago when he cast me to play the young Bill Gates in his movie, The Pirates of Silicon Valley.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for standing with us. The world's a better place because of it.
I mean, Steve talking to Bill Gates, who's staring down like he's Big Brother, and he was. For years, Steve almost went crazy over what Bill was doing to him, and now he's up there on that stage in front of the world telling everybody he's practically the second coming. I mean, how do you get from there to here?
That same question could be asked about Martyn. How did he get from there to here? If, for instance, there is deciding that he wanted to meet one of the world's most murderous and paranoid dictators, Idi Amin.
The Second Republic of Uganda, under my leadership.
And this was at a time when no one ever got close to Idi Amin. Thousands of his opponents, real and imagined, were being slaughtered across Uganda. As one of only 2 people ever to make a film with Amin, Martyn dared the dictator to drive him through the streets of Kampala with no bodyguards.
We haven't even informed anybody, but you tell me which route to take.
Okay. You don't have security guards along with you?
Because my people love me, and as I said, they consider me one of their heroes, and everybody in the country are responsible for my security.
Not long after this was filmed, the car in which they're riding was machine gunned by dissident soldiers. And weeks after this handshake, when the film had aired, Amin became the ultimate film critic, demanding that Martyn Burke be returned to Uganda to stand trial for treasonous acts. So, how do you follow something like that? Simple. By going to Hollywood and writing a spy comedy with the team that made Airplane. And once you're done with spies in Hollywood, there's always the real thing. These are scenes from an undercover documentary targeting Soviet spies.
Hello, are you Professor Hamilton?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Martyn got to Hugh Hamilton shortly before he was arrested by British intelligence and charged with spying for the Russians.
How did you meet Rudy Herman?
I came at Laval, as I remember. I mean, I am pretty honest, because
When did he come to Laval?
I don't know the guy, it's your face is the guy. I'm being honest. I don't remember exactly. I just know I knew him at Laval. I certainly didn't know him anywhere else.
After this confrontation, Hamilton was convicted of espionage and sentenced to 10 years in a British prison. And there was this encounter with an agent from Department V of the KGB, the department in charge of assassinations and sabotage.
Fincher. Well then fine, let's do an interview. I mean, you were in the KGB and you were sent over here to North America to engage in espionage acts, and you decided for one reason or another not to go through with this. That's right.
And from experiences like this came Martyn's second novel, The Commissar's Report, which he is currently adapting as a series for HBO. And staying on the same theme, these were the days when it was the Russians who were fighting in Afghanistan. This time, Martyn made a 300-mile journey from northern Pakistan to the mountainous Afghan war zones. It was a journey through camel routes and mud hut towns with 4 Afghan guides, none of whom spoke a word of English. And home was to be a cave carved out of a mountain where dozens of Mujahideen fighters slept each night under bullet belts and rifles. Pre-dawn exercise consisted of going up the mountain in darkness to attack a Russian fort far below. And then, after the fighting, there was the Afghan version of brunch. And then it was off to war again, this time jammed in the back of a truck where Martyn's view was always the same: guns and more guns. And from the war over there to the war that has been brought back here to the nations of the West.
On the streets of Paris, Mohammed Sifawi is never alone. He is always watched by those who protect him, and sometimes by those who are trying to kill him. The man and the woman walking behind him are plainclothes French security police, part of a round-the-clock effort by the government to keep him alive. They are protecting him from a death sentence authorized by this man, a leader of one of the most radical Islamist groups in Europe.
It was a film for PBS that yielded the inspiration for the love story in his next book, Music for Love or War. And for a change of pace, there's always carnivals. His film about both America and the huge carnival that traveled through it, with its workers, performers, and bosses.
When I was a young boy, I certainly never dreamed that I could own this beautiful El Dorado, or wear a big diamond on my finger and buy my wife a mink coat, and do anything I cared to do in life. Something you've never seen before, and may never have a chance to see again. Mother Nature's greatest mistake. Instead of me, I was born with the flippers or the fillers of an Oscar. The cow, the two-headed sheep, see the tattoo dog, the elephant skin dog.
Occasionally, the films or books have collided during their creation, like the time he was tracking down mafia leaders, while he was in pre-production for the feature film about a coup d'etat he was doing with Peter O'Toole.
Well, for a coup to be successful, you need tanks. My tanks. Am I right? The sudden burst of friendship must be in aid of something. Oh, don't misunderstand me. I appreciate it. Pick a card.
Mr. Diorio?
The organized crime series Connections, produced for the CBC in Toronto, set out to confront mafia leaders across America and Canada on their own home territory.
Yes, you can't ask nothing. I don't know nothing anyway.
You don't know anything. How about this feud we hear, this thing between the Sicilians and the Calabrians? We hear there's a feud. Well, who killed Paolo Violi?
I don't know. Who the fuck knows? I don't know.
How is your business, Mr. Diorio? Can I ask you that?
Yeah, it's very quiet.
It's awfully quiet?
Very quiet.
What is your business, Mr. Diorio?
Oh, see? So if you don't know, so then don't ask me.
Well, I mean, is it true that you're in loan sharking?
What?
Is it true that you're in loan sharking?
Well, you got a lot of nerve.
And with the undercover sting operations filmed across Italy and North America, came headlines for months after the series aired, as major mafia figures were ensnared in on-camera sting operations.
I don't believe it. You came 3,000 miles for this conversation?
The conversation was, I was supposed to see somebody that maybe help us with our little venture.
4 years later, this mafia boss was found murdered in the trunk of a car. And from experiences like that came Martyn's feature film about modern-day mafia leaders for whom there was still only one way out of their chosen lifestyle.
Angelo Alighieri was a man of great passion. How Verdi, Rossini would fill his heart. He was a man of great sadness. He lost his wife, his Maria. This was his sadness, his emptiness, dialogue. So, Angelo, we remember him well. All in all. Amen.
And for Martyn, it all came together in his novel Ivory Joe, a story about mobsters trying to grab royalties away from the old rhythm and blues singers like those he filmed at the legendary Apollo Theater in Harlem.
If that diamond ring don't shine, let me tell you something about that. These people have made millions and millions, and I'm 56 years old. I cannot be 26 ever again.
In whatever the medium, there is always the storyteller, working in words, images, or a combination of the two, sometimes on both sides of the camera. In Martyn's film, Under Fire, Journalists in Combat, he turned the cameras on what he has known.
You never feel as alive as when you're staring death in the face.
John Steele, a video cameraman in dozens of wars, relived one part of bringing the stories home.
In your book, you wrote about guilt, your own guilt. And I quote here, "It's my fault I needed those people to die."
It's not as callous as it sounds, because what I was trying to do was I was trying to reach through the TV screen, grab people from their comfy chairs, and drag them into my camera and say, look, this is what it's like.
And it's always this way. No matter how you tell the story, no matter in what medium, drama, documentary, or novel, it's always just about saying to people, this is what it's like. Otherwise, why bother?